On May 23rd, 2025, Geometry Dash will get 2 new top 1s, being Amethyst and Thinking Space 2. And while most people are asking which is harder, I'm here to find out which one is better. Today, I'll be looking at both the deco and the gameplay, well, as accurately as I can. So let's jump into the darker level first. So we're starting off with Thinking Space 2 by Cairo. I don't really know what else to say in this menu right here, so let's just jump straight into the level. Hey guys, so I finished recording this video 6 minutes before Flamewall was verified. And I was originally thinking of putting the level in the video, but then I remembered, it's like 7 minutes long, I ain't got time for all of that. If this video does well, I might want to make a video on just Flamewall, but we will see. It's up to you guys to decide that. But let's just get into the video already. So first of all, I know this is gonna be really impossible for me to do. Also, I'm using LDM because I don't want to lag. But I'll try to see how far I can manage to get in practice mode without having to go in speed hack. Wow, this first click is hard. I've heard the first clicking both Thinking Space 2 and Amethyst is like impossible. So we're in for a treat here. Oh, I passed it. Let's go. Okay, I'm noticing these are some very strange hitboxes. Like, huh? Are these like just a weird attempt at fixed hitboxes or something? Cause like, they do look weird. Also, it's gonna be kind of hard for me to comment on the decoration here because I'm using LDM. But so far, I'm liking it so far. The thing I like the most is that there's no like, BS hitboxes where it's like, they don't make any sense at all. Had some slight experience with playing like regular Thinking Space, so... Oh, that's a spider. I thought that was a ball part. Okay. Oh, a buffer click in these levels? That's crazy. Yeah, the gameplay feels like it flows pretty well. I don't know if I would outright say that the gameplay matches with its difficulty, because that's pretty hard to deduce. But this doesn't feel like a 2-star buff to be top 1. Yeah, this doesn't really feel that bad. It feels like, kind of like Tartarus or like Sonic Wave Infinity, where not everything is like the most impossible thing on the planet. But I guess that changes with this part right here. What the hell? I want to see if I can do this wave. Yeah, the hitboxes here aren't really as good as the previous ones. Like, a lot of these hitboxes aren't very accurate. I'd say this one is what should be accurate. And the rest of these, just like, they just don't really work. No, less click. Yeah, I give up. Ew, what is that gap, bro? What the hell? That's a nasty gap, oh my god. The fact that there's actually some buffers in this level, though, is actually nuts. Oh, I don't like that. What the hell? So it still looks like you pass the gap sometimes, but then you die in the cube. Because the gravity's different. That is not cool, man. Huh. Oh, I fluked that ship. Okay. What are these timings, bro? Like, yeah. What the hell is this, bro? It's so unusual to look at this type of stuff. Yeah, I don't know what I think about this. This wave doesn't even seem that bad. What the hell? Are we in the age of like levels are so hard that the basic constraints of the wave make them like the easiest part of the level? Never mind. What is this? Huh? Are you telling me this is possible? Dude, this looks like some Silent Circles type stuff. This looks like the average Cyrillic creation back in like 2017. Hell no. What is this, bro? Dude, this level and just top ones in general are literally turning into comedies with how ridiculous the gaps are. Bro, look at all these checkpoints. Look at all those damn checkpoints. And then we have this gap right afterwards. What in the world? At least I can congratulate the level because like, at least the impossible timings look unique. Honestly, I feel like if this gameplay was nerfed, it could probably be very fun. I think this is the first top one since probably like 2016. Or maybe even earlier that uses a mirror portal. When I'm editing this, I'll check what the previous top one that used the mirror portal is. Also, what the hell is this gap? How early do I have to click? Okay, swing copter. I was gonna say last top one with a swing copter was a while ago, but then I remembered tidal wave has like a 2-second swing copter. Okay, what is this though? Oh, I did that too. Also, I noticed thinking space. In the original thinking space, you have a percent indicator at 0%, and the only other one is at 59. That's great. So it seems like we're getting to the drop. I haven't heard this song before, so I don't really know what could be classified as the drop. Also, this club step monster right here, how it opens its eyes, that's done in Unknown. It's like my favorite detail in Unknown. Oh, yeah, now we're really getting into the hard stuff. We got gap after gap after gap after gap. This is bonkers, bro. Okay. I'm crushing it. Trust. I really want to see like the backwards wave in this level too, because that's like the most iconic thing about thinking space. I feel like Aeon Air so much, because I don't have that much else to say other than, wow, this is really hard. Yo! Here it is, the backwards wave, let's go. I knew it would be here. At least we got the Easter egg, or I guess the reference. Yeah, these gaps don't really seem too tight. That seems like a bloodlust thing, but that might just be me overestimating bloodlust. I swear that timing wasn't bloodlust though. Okay, let me pause that. This is certainly the most evil gap in the level so far. Out of all of the wave gaps, this is the dumbest one. Ew! Look at all of these fixed hitboxes. I guess Zoink hasn't let that thing die. He really loves his fixed hitboxes. Another swing copter? Okay. This is certainly way faster. Oh, I did it. What is this? Huh? I guess we have the impossible duel from Thinking Space back again. I'm not even gonna bother trying to figure out how this works. And while I'm brutally forcing my way through this duel, I'll humbly ask you to please subscribe. I spend a lot of time on these videos, so any support would be highly appreciated. I also have memberships, so smash that join button for tons of cool perks, and of course, follow my other socials as well. They're linked in the description as always. But let's get back to Thinking Space 2, and soon to Amethyst as well. Wait, I'm there! Yes! I passed the duel! What the hell? That's the most diabolical thing on the planet, bro. The fact that that duel is actually possible is something that basically tells me that I'm never beating this. Oh. What the hell, bro? No, I don't like that at all. Dude, this is madness. Actually madness. I passed it. How? How did I even do that? Yeah, the positive thing about this is that this looks like a top one. Which I don't know if I can say the same thing about the next level. I'm sensing the end. A buffer followed by an incredibly difficult timing. Where have I seen that before? Oh, you gotta be kidding me, bro. And I died to the last click. Okay, 4 times. Let's go. Thinking Space 2. Wow. 938 attempts. That is absolutely nuts. And if this was an Aeon Air video, I would say that this is the video's end now. Or I guess the video's over now. But no, we have another level to go. What the hell? So I've heard that this level is way more controversial than Thinking Space 2. So that's kind of a bummer. But I won't be getting into that controversy because that's not what this is about. If Thinking Space 2's first click is hard, then what about this? Oh, I passed it. Let's go. Yeah, these hitboxes are way less faithful than Thinking Space 2. And while Thinking Space 2 is a very obvious remake of Thinking Space, this is a remake of the Golden. I've done 50 attempts and I'm at 3%. Please tell me this is the hardest part as well. But as far as I know, it's like the easiest. Yeah, unlike the beginning or like the entire Thinking Space 2, it feels like every single click in this level is like impossible. Also, I don't really know how to feel about this decoration right here. It's realism style, and I'm not the biggest fan of realism style. Mostly because, like, you can see there's a lot of blur in a lot of this, and it looks very messy. But I guess for what it tries to be, it's fine, at least this part. I'll probably comment way more on the deco in this level, because I have a lot more to say about the deco of Amethyst. I'm almost there, I'm almost at the next part. If you're a fan of Amethyst, you might want to close your ears for this one, because I have quite the controversial opinion on this part. I really don't like the deco in this part of the level. Like, a lot of this is the most messy stuff I've ever seen. Like, the colors do not match at all. Like, the blue is way too saturated. The yellow is very out of place. None of this deco is matching up either, and like, the foreground deco is so blurry and so, like, incoherent. The contrast as well in between the foreground and the regular objects do not work either. Even when it comes to just, like, realism style, this is done very badly. I do not like this part of the level. I can't really say I like the gameplay either. Unlike the ship parts in Thinking Space 2, I wouldn't really say this ship gameplay flows very well. And another main criticism I have is that this doesn't really look like it is top 1. Like, Thinking Space 2 has this energy, the gaps look impossible, and all of that jizz. Meanwhile, this is like, it's like almost impossible for you to know if this is actually hard, because like, these are the hitboxes you're looking at, and you're not even looking at them. If I turn off show hitboxes not deaf, there's nothing here. You're dying to air. It's actually unreasonable how dumb this is. Alright, we're at the drop now. First of all, for the pre-drop, I think the pre-drop is way too hard. It doesn't really match the intensity of the song. I think the pre-drop of the level should definitely be nerfed. Or I guess nothing can really be done about it anymore. But if it could be nerfed, then I'd want it to be nerfed. However, we get some positive stuff now. I think this part looks very cool. Like, I really like the block deco in this part. I can go to slower speed as well to, like, show how much I like it, and also turn off hitboxes. I think this deco is really cool. Like, I really like the structuring, how the, like, curved objects look, especially the spikes too. Like, this is probably the best decorated part in the level, in my opinion. Which is ironic, because this is meant to be like a realism style level, and the only parts that isn't realism style is the one I like the most. Now sure, this part isn't perfect. Like, what is this rock effect? We got like Temu Kolok right here. This part though, I wouldn't say it's bad, deco. Oh, why'd I delete the checkpoint, bro? Yeah, I wouldn't say the deco is bad. The only problem I have with this part is that the hitboxes do not match up with the deco at all. Like, honestly, my main complaint with, like, most of this realism deco is just that I don't think it matches wave parts that well. But when it comes to ship parts, I think it matches really well. Like, you can do a lot more flowy stuff with ship parts. Just like the mirrored wave in Thinking Space 2, I think if this ship was nerfed, it could be very fun to do. And I feel like it would probably be very fun for top players. However, I haven't really spoken to any top players who've played this, so who am I to judge? But then again, a lot of the praise that I have for this, like, gameplay and the structuring of it is pretty much just because it's from the Golden, and I think the Golden does this way better. Like, the main problem I have with this that isn't in Thinking Space 2 is that the structuring of the gameplay and just the structuring of the level is way more unique in Thinking Space 2. Meanwhile, in Amethyst, it's not really that unique. Like, if you take a showcase of Amethyst and the Golden side by side, and just look at how the icon flows, it's pretty easy to tell that both of the icons flow pretty similarly. Hard to explain what I'm saying right now, but I feel like my main issue with Amethyst is that it looks like the creators focused way more on the deco than the gameplay. And when it comes to a top one, you really shouldn't do that. I wouldn't say I like these timings very much. And I don't think top players like them that much either. A lot of the timings here feels like you have to have a specific trajectory when you do the first or previous timing to even have a shot at passing the next timing. So a lot of the difficulty is like way more confusing, I guess. And it looks way less difficult because a lot of the difficulty just comes from trajectory. Yeah, I have that same issue with like most of the levels, so I don't really know what else to say, but I guess I can just go back to saying, wow, this is really hard. However, I don't really like the black orbs here. It's a common criticism of mine when it comes to ship gameplay, is that I really don't like fake orbs in ship gameplay. Depends where it feels the most natural, because you can do this gimmick very wrong. And just because I'm nice, I'll put some J. Because most of the time, they don't really work well. And when it comes to my ship gameplay, I only use them for my gameplay in circumstances where like it's very easy gameplay and it's not like a big choke point. But enough said about ship parts. Let's get on to the final wave. Yeah, this feels really intense. I guess when it comes to deco, this feels like a very cool conclusion. However, just like the other parts in the level, the hitboxes don't really match up that well with the deco. And it does look very messy. And like, as Doggy said when he was playing the level, and I think Zoink also said this, but a lot of the wave gaps are literally invisible. Like, look, when you're playing this, you can't even see your wave here. This damn obstacle is just covering your wave. Like, this last wave feels like a damn memory part. Feels like goner memory. And a lot of people aren't really that big fans of goner memory. But I guess I can, you know, praise it for being a bit more unique than the golden, because the golden didn't end with a wave. The wave ended at like 60. I finally have some unique criticisms with this. And for this part, that criticism is that you can't see half of the damn inputs. Come on, let me pass this, please. Let me be done. Yes, I did it. Let's go. And of course, we have the 20% end screen. So that was Amethyst. And with that, my practice run of both of the levels are done. And as you can see, Amethyst only took 755 attempts. So I guess that's cool. But now I'll give my thoughts on both of the levels and decide which one I think is the better of the two. So because the video is already 18 minutes long, I won't go that in depth in either of the levels. I'll just talk pretty surface level about them and my opinions about them both. And at the end, I'll of course decide which one I think is the better one. Starting off with Thinking Space 2, I think it's a very good sequel to Thinking Space, and it's done in a very fresh way as well. We finally have a top one that's not just hard wave challenge demon, but it does have its flaws as well. Of course, the hitboxes aren't really the greatest, which is classic for a Zoink verification, and I think the deco can get kinda stale sometimes. The ending also feels way too hard, by the way, especially that cursed duel. I also think this is the harder one of the two, but then again, I only did one practice run, so I can't really judge the levels that good. Amethyst is certainly a different story though. I think the idea of it is very cool. A remake of the golden set in a crystal cave? That's so tough, bro. Some parts of the deco as well, like the first wave, looks incredibly good too. But then there's the gameplay. From what I played, it felt way too hard for its base structuring, and some timings just felt too unfair. Even for a top one, I do think it kinda salvaged itself in some parts, but there's still some rough spots. There's also that one part I commented on, which generally just looks ugly, so that takes off a few points. For deco, it's better, but for gameplay, it's worse, which is why I'm gonna give the point to Thinking Space 2. In all honesty, they're not really that different to each other, so it was a pretty close competition. I would also not say that Thinking Space is a very good level, not even one of the best top ones for certain, but for what it's trying to be, I think it kinda succeeds at it. But that's gonna be the end of this video. It was very fun to play these levels and give my opinions on them, and again, if this video does well, then I'll make a video on Flamewall in the same style as this one. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and of course, I'll give a wonderful shout out to all of my wonderful members, RST621, Il Padre, Strife GD, Kirby XLL GMD, Ripluck, Neo and Tix, Tiza, Aaron, Erman HD, Himchi, Koth, Landfinder, Frozen Cosmo, A5, and Sour Plant. And until next video, I'm out, so bye bye!